WCBI News at 10 starts now.
This just into our newsroom tonight. The Mississippi State Department of Health is now recommending that all restaurants and bars across the state suspend dine-in service in an effort to help slow the spread of coronavirus. Health officials suggest switching to carry-out or delivery service only for the foreseeable future. This does not apply to gas stations, grocery and convenience stores, or pharmacies. The Department of Health also recommends that all social gatherings, including church services, funerals, and weddings, be kept to 10 or fewer people. As the cases of COVID-19 across Mississippi increase, so are the options for screening and testing. In some places, you don't even have to step foot in a doctor's office. The University of Mississippi Medical Center is partnering with several state agencies and C-Spire to make it happen. Courtney Ann Jackson explains.
The model that's been created is intended to prevent a bottleneck of folks at this mobile testing site.
It's not open to the general public. We will paralyze our process if it were to be open to the general public. We would also, frankly, be wasting precious testing supplies on individuals that may not need it. So it's critical that we go through the screening process to identify the high-risk patients that need to be tested.
That screening won't be done in person. A public-private partnership with C-Spire will allow a telehealth screening or even a phone call for those without a smartphone.
Scheduling COVID-19 tests is logistically challenging. This app provides the solution to scheduling tests with UMMC.
If the criteria is met, you'll be given a next day appointment to come get a test at this mobile site. Because UMMC made changes internally this week, their employees are prepared to man the site.
The maximum number of testing appointments we would do would be 128, so that's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 16 appointments an hour.
But there's no playbook on this. UMMC is using best practices, but they know there will be variables they can't account for.
Be patient. We are learning on the fly. We have not had time to pilot this, and bear with us. I promise you, we are all doing everything we can do.
Screenings on the app begin Monday morning at 8, and testing at the fairgrounds will start Tuesday at 9. This is the starting point, but the model is expected to be used elsewhere.
Hope is that we have a telehealth screening process statewide that then high-risk patients are referred to their closest geographically located site collection point.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
UMMC is also working to develop an in-house test. They hope to have that available in the next week. That would also increase the number of tests available in the state and alleviate the work being done at the state lab. A local doctor says 2 people have tested positive for coronavirus in the Columbus area. Dr. James Woodard spoke at an event organized by the Allegro Family Clinic. Allegro brought medical professionals together to relay information to the public about routine doctor visits. Dr. Woodard says that the situation is changing rapidly.
All this is changing like every 5 minutes. So if you're looking on the internet, I mean, there are new numbers, but there, I think, are 2 confirmed cases in this area in Columbus. So it's here, and you know, the main thing is don't get frightened, but just use common sense. Don't go into crowds. Wash your hands as much as you can. Don't touch your face.
Wash those hands, wash those hands.
Yeah, common sense can go a long way here. The numbers from the State Department of Health do not reflect the cases in Lowndes County. A Baptist Golden Triangle spokesperson would not confirm or deny if a patient was being treated at the hospital.
Showers and even a little bit of thunder earlier today. That's led to just some light rainfall overnight tonight, and that's going to continue to diminish over the next couple of hours. Some areas did pick up some heavier rainfall. We'll look at some of those totals there, about a ½ inch here in Columbus. Same story over in Starkville, maybe a little bit more. Higher amounts, though, to the north. This radar is estimating nearly 2 inches of rain fell in some spots along the I-22 corridor. So everybody getting in on some rainfall today. Not that we needed it, though. Of course, we do not need any more rainfall. We are well over the surplus for this year so far. Overnight tonight, we're going to fall down into the 40s and 50s. For tomorrow, though, an absolutely gorgeous day, a mix of sun and clouds, a day that you're going to want to get outside and enjoy it however you can, because there's more rain on the way. I'll tell you when, coming up in just a little bit. Scott.
New tonight, Lamar County law enforcement want you to watch out for someone with police lights, but they're not the police. Sheriff Hal Allred says that the driver of a silver Nissan Altima turned on red and blue lights before going around another car. The incident happened on Highway 17 today. Allred says that the vehicle had a Lowndes County, Mississippi license plate. Now, if you see this vehicle, call 911. If you are suspicious of the vehicle or a vehicle trying to pull you over, turn on your hazard lights and call 911 to verify if there's a deputy behind you. A West Point man faces a slew of charges in Lowndes County. He's also accused of shooting and killing a dog. Jamad Deloach is charged with 11 counts of burglary and larceny of a dwelling, 2 counts of burglary of a commercial building, 3 counts of possession of a stolen firearm, and 1 count of aggravated animal cruelty. Investigators that believe the break-ins happened between July 2019 and March of this year. A tip helped deputies connect Deloach to a January burglary where the homeowner's dog was killed during that crime. Now, he's also accused of robbing Tractor Supply Company in Columbus. Lowndes County is working with agencies in Columbus, West Point, and Clay County on this case. All right, we're going to send things back over to meteorologist Trevor Burchett. Trevor, for the first day of spring, it was a rainy first day, but not terrible.
Felt like spring. You know, we get the rain in the spring. We're used to those cold fronts coming in and bringing all types of moisture and rainfall across the area. Fortunately, though, we're going to get a break, and that break's going to come sooner rather than later. This is tomorrow's forecast, I should say. There's Onyx. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds through the day. No rainfall anticipated aside from maybe a sprinkle or 2 in the morning. Get outside and enjoy the weather because it's going to be a rainy day on Sunday. I've got that full First Alert forecast coming up right after this. Stay with us.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Great weather to get outside and enjoy some fresh air tomorrow. A mix of sun and clouds. We'll give it the big green check mark to get outside. Sunday, we're going to give it the red X because we're going to have some rain moving back in. Much like we saw today, off and on showers, not much fun, but at least we're getting a day in between that we can step outside and get some fresh air before more rain moves in. Speaking of rain, here's the radar right now. A little bit of a different picture than what we saw a few hours ago. We had some heavier downpours and some thunderstorms out there a few hours ago. That's all been limited now to just some light showers along and south of the Highway 82 corridor. Louisville, Macon, Knoxville County still getting in on some rainfall. We've got some more batches of showers moving in from the west, but generally most of us are dry and will be dry for the rest of the night as well. Now that this cold front has passed through, there's our low pressure system. That's been the troublemaker for the last few days. It's going to continue to push off to the south and east with that cold front helping us to dry out and cool down just a couple of degrees overnight tonight. We're down to 61 right now in Columbus. Those low-hanging, ominous clouds sticking around, but those too will continue to clear out overnight tonight. I think by midnight the rain will have come to an end. The clouds will even start to clear out, but as I mentioned, that cold front coming through is going to help us to cool down into the low 50s for lows overnight tonight. And you can see that on Futurecast. We'll play this through starting off right now around 63. Notice there's a few showers still continuing overnight tonight. But by midnight, I think most of us will be dry, aside from just a couple of sprinkles out there. Clouds continue to exit the area overnight. I think by 5 a.m. or so, we'll be left with a mix of sun and clouds, and that will continue through the day tomorrow as well. Not one of those picture-perfect blue sky days, but with all that's going on, it's going to be a great day to get outside, take a walk, do whatever you can to get your mind off things and get some fresh air. Temperatures getting up into the mid-60s. Clouds will build back in, though, as we get closer to sunset ahead of another weather system. It's actually going to be the same weather system, just making a return. It liked Mississippi and Alabama so much, it's going to come right on back, bringing us more chances for some rain on Sunday. And it's going to stick around, keeping rain in the forecast through next week. So there's that cold front that passed through. As I mentioned, it's going to kind of come back as a warm front and a stationary front. And anytime you see one of these systems that's like a stationary front, we see rain and shower activity develop right along that front. Now, this is not going to be any type of storm activity, but as long as that front is there, we're going to keep rain in the forecast, and that's going to continue for at least the next 7 days. For sure, rainy day on Sunday, so enjoy Saturday while you can. Off and on showers through next week, Monday through Friday. Temperatures warming up into the 80s by next Thursday.
All right, Trevor, thanks so much. Well, restaurants and bars are being hit hard, not by the coronavirus itself, but ever-changing rules. We find out what one chef and owner thinks about it when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. Restaurants and other small businesses in North Mississippi are taking a hard punch in their pocketbooks as the coronavirus continues to ramp up in the Magnolia State. Yesterday, I sat down with local chef and owner Ty Timms, who says he doesn't believe the state is doing enough to help curb the virus. Ty, I know this has been a really tough time for you guys, and I thank you for taking the time out to visit with us about what's going on. So, Ty, talk to me a little bit about, how hard it is when you, as the owner, have to come in and say, "Hey, I've got to cut you, and I've got to cut you."
Well, this was kind of an evolving situation, and it's so fluid and moving so fast that really nobody has the right answer on what to do. And so for us, it became a public safety issue. And, I'm in the, public service and serving food and serving a party, and everybody comes here to enjoy themselves and escape the real world. And now it's, I feel that the public spaces have become unsafe. And the social distancing in restaurants just don't work together. So I think it's my responsibility as a business owner to do what I can to protect my guests and my staff.
And that's not an easy decision.
No.
That you have to make. In your industry, with your restaurants, how many people have you had to cut just from your businesses alone?
Between 50 and 60.
And what has that done to you guys so far that you know of?
We've gone to just doing to go and trying to get, I'm not taking any money right now. It's all about, trying to pay the staff, my management, and trying to keep them here throughout this situation.
And I know Restaurant Tyler's standpoint, you guys are a family. It's not just like they're your employees, this is your family that you have here.
And that's kind of the personal responsibility that I have to them is that, I don't want any of them to get sick. I don't want my guests to get sick. And it's, we could be open right now and, this is patio season and, over the weekend we were busy and, but this is not a snow day. This is not, school's out, it's time to party. This is like a situation where you can't see the enemy and, touch and breathing and you just don't know, who might have this and how fast it can spread.
Yeah.
I have to protect my staff. I have to protect, I think that's my responsibility.
And I know yesterday Governor Tate Reeves announced that he had been in touch with the Small Business Administration. They were talking about plans on how to accommodate these small businesses that are going to be impacted through this, not just restaurant industry, but other businesses as well. And I know part of the plan was I believe it was up to $2 million in loans or something that would be available. Is the state of Mississippi doing enough, is my question, for our small businesses?
No, I don't believe they are. I think that we should all go to this kind of shutdown. The deal is that the longer this goes on, the more damage it's going to do. If we all band together and we say, okay, we're going to social distance, we're going to shut down, we're going to, maybe do to go, but delivery, we're going to do, buy a gift card now, use it later. But the longer this goes on, the harder it's going to be for businesses to come back. So if we can shut it down, stop the spread, then we can all get back to normal later.
Do you think there's a timetable on once it's gone to a certain point, there's no turning back?
I think everybody, small businesses, everybody has their own timetable. Mine might be shorter or longer than others, but that's why this is so hard because, the margins are so small in the restaurant business that this could, where we're at right now is going to end some people. I don't know, maybe 50% of restaurants will come back. Maybe if this goes on 2 more months, 3 months, maybe only 75% of restaurants come back. This is like a national disaster that is carrying on through the restaurant industry.
And very detrimental.
The world, not just the restaurants, everybody's suffering. Salons and massage therapists, everybody feels the effect of this.
And, I think a lot of people don't understand that. So for folks at home that may not be in the small business industry, what would you want them to know about the ongoing pandemic?
The way that you can really, I think, help local businesses right now and still stay at home. We went to online ordering, to go only. We have e-gift cards, which you can buy the gift cards, send it to family members, send it to friends, and then after this is all over with, come and enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy being social again. But don't do that now. Let's come together, as a community, and let's get rid of this thing, and then so we can all get back to our normal lives.
Definitely. All right, well, Ty, thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate it. I know you're super busy, and we definitely wish you all the best. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back after this.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
Mississippi State guard Tyson Carter learned the love of the game straight from another basketball Bulldog, his very own dad. Raised by former All-SEC player Greg Carter, not only did Carter learn to love the game, he learned to live for it. WCBI Sports' Chris Bolton sat down with the father-son duo to talk about that special basketball bond.
Growing up, did you always see yourself going to Mississippi State? Was this the goal to follow in his footsteps and go to Mississippi State as well?
It definitely was a dream of mine to play at Mississippi State, but you know, you get in high school, you know, you start getting treated by other schools, you know, get to looking at you, so you kind of just weigh your options a little bit. And when it just came down to it, I knew that Mississippi State was where I should go. That's where I always dreamed of playing.
When he was young, he wanted to be a ball boy at Mississippi State. So once he got old enough, you know, we let him be a ball boy. And when the teams would leave the floor after pregame warm-ups, they would leave the floor, he would always go out and shoot. And then, you know, I remember one game, he made 4 or 5 3-pointers in a row, and he got the crowd into it. You know, he had the whole crowd cheering for him every time he made one. You know, and him playing at Mississippi State brought back memories like that. But, you know, I don't really consider him, you know, following in my footsteps. You know, once he got there, you know, he kind of blazed his own path through Mississippi State. You know, he set his own footsteps. Y'all
The first father-son duo in the SEC to have 1,000 career points each. Just tell me, you know, what does that mean to you for y'all to make that accomplishment?
When he signed with Mississippi State, I kind of figured he would pass my point total. And I've been looking forward to it for a long time. I really didn't know how close he was until this season started. You know, so I was, you know, eagerly anticipating it, you know, every game leading right up to it. You know, I think it put a little pressure on him really wanting it so bad, you know, once he got close, that he struggled a little bit. But once he got past it, you know, he kind of, you know, took back off. But I was, you know, proud that he eclipsed me. You know, I really didn't think that we were the only father and son duo to do it. But when you think about it and put it in that perspective, you know, it's really, really big thing.
Just playing for him in high school, you know, I always wanted to make him proud and stuff like that. So just with some things that I accomplished in college, you know, it means a lot that I could be able to do that.
Looking back from your journey, you know, growing up, playing ball, was he the person that instilled that love of basketball into you?
Yeah, I think so, because just growing up, you know, going to watch his teams practice and stuff like that, you know, longer hours in the gym, I knew I always wanted to be there. You know, that was my favorite place to go in the whole world. I always wanted to go to the gym. I always wanted to have my ball in my hand.
When he was 3 years old, you know, I took a head coaching job at Brandon High School. And, you know, we put him in a daycare for teachers. And, you know, the daycare ended when school ended. But the two people who ran the daycare, they would bring him to the gym after all the other kids had left. They would bring him to the gym, drop him off. He'd come in the gym. You know, I had a little small basketball. He's 3 years old. So I had a little small basketball that I kept in my office. You know, I'd get that ball out for him, and he would go on the side goal and he would shoot. He could barely get it up to the rim, but he would shoot, he'd dribble, he'd run up and down the court. He'd get tired, he'd go up in the bleachers. I'd look up in the bleachers, he'd be asleep. You know, he'd wake up, he'd come back down on the court, you know, he'd go back to shooting and playing. So he's really been in the gym since he was 3 years old.
If you two face off in y'all's prime, which one of y'all's winning that game?
I think I'll win.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that game will ever end, to be honest with you.
Have you guys played against each other recently, lately?
No, not recently. We used to play against each other a lot when I was growing up. I never won, though. But I was, yeah, we kind of stopped when I got a little older.
Yeah. I think we stopped playing each other probably, early senior year, late junior year?
I think it was before that, probably my freshman year.
It wasn't that late.
I think it was.
It wasn't that early.
My freshman year. My freshman year in high school, probably.
Have you been trying to, you want to get your lick back? You know, you want to play him again? Just show him what you can do now?
I don't think he want to play me no more.
That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
Perfect weather for your Saturday. Few clouds out there, but still really nice. I hope you'll take advantage and get outside, take a walk, or do something to enjoy it, because we've got more rain on the way for Sunday and then more rain chances into next week. Temperatures warming into the mid-70s, upper 70s by Wednesday, even into the 80s by Thursday, with rain chances continuing. So, Scott, if you can get out on Saturday and enjoy it, you definitely want to.
Definitely. So, but just remember, social distancing.
Yeah, social distancing.
So don't forget about that. And Sunday will be a really good day.
Yeah, stay inside.
But
Saturday, get some fresh air.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Trevor. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great weekend. Be safe. We'll see you next week.